a feature of the real world that we live in. Resistance makes you stronger. And again, it's not just people. It applies to trees. It applies to all life forms.
Sometimes I think about what I call the sine curve. You guys remember trigonometry?
Yep.
Remember the sine curve? It's this never-ending up and down radio wave. And sometimes I think about what I characterize as the sine curve of life. And essentially at the top, it's important to have humility and awareness and gratitude and these things. But nothing deeply good emerges from the top. It's always at the bottom of the curve where all the growth happens. And at the top, what's certain is you're coming down. At the bottom, you're coming back up. Yeah. It's important to have that perspective because at the bottom, that's where it's important and that's where all the growth happens.
Yeah, all of the bad things that have happened in my life or whether it be my personal life or my career or whatever, they've always been the thing that inspired me to do something better and achieve more.
Sure. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, I think we would say that our personality today, the very essence of our life, is a result of those challenges that we faced and the choices we made as a result of those challenges, not because of the good times that we've had.
Bro, it's like we were talking about before the show, how I said, like, when you get like luck or whatever, it's opportunity meeting preparation. If you don't prepare for something and you get something given to you, you can't be ready for it. You're not going to take advantage of it the right way. You're not going to get anything from it. So you should always be getting prepared.
And that's why I always preach to the young folks of the world. Like, if they're lost, if you need some resistance, you need an obstacle, you need a challenge, I suggest the military, because you're going to get that in the military. Maybe some other places, but if you join the military, you're stuck. You're stuck for at least 3-4 years that you have no choice in the matter but to make yourself better and/or fail.
Yeah, or become a lot better. I've seen a lot of people join the military and become way better people.
It's the best thing for young people.
Yeah.
Even if you can up until 28 plus.
Civil service, anybody?
Conscription for everyone.
Actually, quick thought on that. So in the NCAA now, because of like COVID and the way a lot of things, so I played hockey in college, so I'm talking a little bit about specifically hockey, but other sports too. It's now very easy for players to transfer schools. They can just
super easy.
Whereas before, like when I was playing, transferring was like essentially not an option because you had to sit out a year. But now these players can transfer as quickly, basically as much as they want to. And what I think a lot of these coaches are learning is that it's previously a coach could be very hard on a player and they would have to fight through that adversity and get better. And that was oftentimes where they grew the most, was from fighting through those challenges. But now today, anytime a player is facing any kind of adversity, they just pull the chute and leave. And things have changed on that front. And so I think there's some missed opportunities there.
Yeah. It's important to, and I don't know that it's something that parents should be instilling, or if it's something that is in some people and not in other people, but it's important to have that kind of attitude that says, if I fail, I'm going to try again. Right? Like, there are plenty of things in my life that, didn't work out the way that I wanted them to. And every time that something negative has happened or something that didn't work out the way that I wanted to, it wasn't like, oh, well, I guess I got to stop doing this. If I stopped trying to be in a band the first time that I didn't get something that I wanted, the first band I ever tried out to be in, I wasn't good enough. And I just hadn't been playing long enough, and they were like, nah, we're going to go with another guy. And thankfully, 6 months later, they hit me up and they were like, yo, that guy didn't work out. Are you still interested? And I was like, yeah. But like, if I had quit playing guitar, I wouldn't have had a 20-year career in the music industry.
You can probably pinpoint those spots too, those like disappointments.
Yep.
And then how many good things would come from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of them. So it's important for people to, it's cliche to say, when you get punched in the face, get knocked down, get up. But that Rocky,
that speech?
Yeah, the speech that he's given to his kid, he's like, look, the important thing is how many times you can get knocked down and keep getting up. That's how winning is done. That is exactly right. That is how you win. It's not because you are invincible and you don't get knocked down and it doesn't hurt and it's not that. It has nothing to do with it. It means that you get up and keep trying.
What's the name of that I don't know what you describe it. It's a ideology of some sort or facet of philosophy. Humans would be happier as farmers. There's a term for this where technology has basically ripped us from what makes us function properly. That is, working on a farm, you're lifting heavy things, so you're getting regular exercise. You're up early in the morning when the sun comes up. You're in bed at night.
Argarians?
I don't know.
Agrarians.
Yeah.
Agrarians.
It says individual importance of agriculture and farming
Well,
as
agrarian
a way of life.
Agrarian way of life is just being a farmer.
Yeah.
There's an idea that's specifically how technology,
Pastoralism?
something I have no idea.
We'll keep looking.
Basically, technology has created artificial scheduling, and so going back to the point where upstairs we have a whole bunch of weights, we have a power cage and all that stuff. We have to find time in the day to simulate lifting heavy things, literally lift heavy things to simulate farm work, basically, because we have removed ourselves from what humans were built for, and so now humans are largely unhappy.
Grok says the idea of pastoralism in literature and philosophy. Historically, pastoralism, or the idealized view of rural life, has been romanticized in literature and philosophy, suggesting that living closer to nature, like farmers do, could lead to a more fulfilled, happy life. This isn't a term per se, but a recurring theme. So, maybe that's the idea. But I think that you make a good point. Like getting up in the morning when the sun comes up, having a goal, chickens.
Oh, having a goal.
Having a goal,
Always coming
feeding
back
the
to
chickens, making sure the chickens are taken care of, among other things. But if you have a farm, there are things you have to do every single day.
Yeah.
I have heard from so many people, we got to do better promotion for Chicken City because everybody loves it.
Yeah.
So the other day I tweeted it a couple times. And for those that don't know what it is, chickencitylive.com. If you want to watch chickens live their lives.
It's dope.
Oh, we got
It's the Truman. Yeah, it's the Truman Show for chickens. But a couple weeks ago, it was raining, and so I'm sitting in this box. We are in it's a 40-foot tall warehouse, and then inside the warehouse is another building. There's no windows. There's no ventilation. It's just dark all day. I mean, it's not. We have studio lights. It's actually rather bright.
Sure.
And then I was like, I'm going to tweet out Chicken City for fun because I don't really do it. And I did. And then I opened the YouTube video and I heard the sound of rain and chickens eating and balking. And I just left it on. And I was like, dude, this is ASMR. Yeah. This is for humans that have lost their way and are living in the city. You can hear the sounds of nature and chickens. And then I heard from a bunch of people where they were like, I had someone tell me recently, they said, yeah, when you tweeted out, I turned it on and I just forgot about it. And it was on for 2 hours. It's kind of nice. And I'm like, humans want to live on a homestead with some animals. They want to wake up and do work. They want to think about this. I mean, all of it. Granted, healthcare is worse. You stub your toe, you can get sepsis, right? It's miserable.
Yeah.
And so great technologies come with the way we live today. But if you go back to how people used to live on the farm, you spent your whole day with your family. Your kids were right there with you. They were helping you. You were doing the work you had to do. In fact, you had a lot of kids because you needed kids to survive. You needed family.
Yeah.
And then you'd go into town only periodically, and only once a week or once a month would you get the Post and actually learn about what's going on. And the only news that mattered to you was whether or not it felt like there was going to be a drought this year. And then you'd wake up. There's your family. You have breakfast. You go tend to the animals. You come back. You hang out.
Those are the things that really matter. We hear people talk about it all the time. What are the most important things to you? The most important things, your family. The most important things, your mom, your kids, your wife, the people that are closest to you. I mean, we hear these things in all kinds of stories, and you see it in Hallmark cards and everything, But yet, at the same time, as a society, we have lost that. We have lost the focus on that. We tell people that things that are far removed from them are the most important. The things that are going on in Washington, D.C. are the most important. You've got a whole generation of young women that believe that have no intention of getting pregnant or having an abortion or not having an abortion. That's not something that they're all that worried about, but that's the most important thing to them is abortion access. Like they're not having sex, or maybe or they're in a committed relationship. That's another one that blows my mind. Women over 50 that think abortion is the most important thing. It's like, ma'am,
Loony ladies.
ma'am, it is not important to you if abortion rights are not important to you. I understand that you got a feeling about them, but like the things that are going on in Washington, D.C. are not the things that are the most important things happening to your life. The most important things that are happening in your life are the things that happen every day, the people that you see every day, and the people you're around every day, and how you live your life. And so the idea that, something that some politician says, 1,000 miles away, how you believe, or believing that that's the most important thing going on in your life, is ridiculous. And if the only reason that you can convince yourself that it is because you're missing actually important things. Your actual interpersonal relationships with your family, with your friends, those things are suffering. And so you've replaced them with things far away.
Donna S. says it's Luddism.
Luddites. Well,
It's not. The Luddites were an anti-industrialist movement. They were upset that they were going to lose their jobs to machines. So that's not what I'm referring to. It is entirely possible that you could live a modern internet-based technological life with a TV and video games and all that stuff, but have a homestead. Yep. And I think it's become quite popular, actually, in the past
it's growing.
10 years or so.
Definitely growing.
Yeah, like people who have regular jobs still want to have the animals and bring back a little bit and hybridize. So it's not pure homesteading where you're quite literally just going to be self-reliant and go back to the old ways. But a lot of people have been like, they'll get a couple miniature goats or a mini cow, and they'll get some chickens. They'll get a couple acres where it's legal, and then they'll still have a job, but they'll come home and they'll have animals, and they'll get a large amount of their food from their garden. Yeah. I mean, we were into that for a while. We had a garden at the castle for a while. It is. I feel bad for people who don't eat the food they've grown for breakfast. It is an amazing thing to wake up in the morning. I would wake up, I'd walk to the front of the house, go into the garden, and I would grab a zucchini, and I would grab a handful of cherry tomatoes. Then I would grab 2 eggs right from under the chicken, and I'd make scrambled eggs with zucchini and tomatoes, just like that. It was the only thing I had to add to it was olive oil. Oh yeah, that was me. I didn't want the eggs to stick.
Sure.
But it was like I'm sitting there eating this, and I'm like, it doesn't really taste better, but it does taste better. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.